Welcome to our kickoff episode of OSD Go Read First Chapter Fridays. I'm Dr. Beth Zirianis, and I'm joined by
Diane Provito
and Jessica Keegan.
And we are really excited to share with you over the next couple of weeks the first chapters of some really great books. We are going to be sharing some great books with our middle grade audience, our students in grades 5 through 8, as well as our high school audience. And for our two first books, we are going to be doing for our middle grade audience our new book, The Unteachables by Gordon Korman. So many of our students and staff read Restart, and this is the latest book from that very wonderful author. And for our high school audience, we are going to be sharing the first chapter of Little Fires Everywhere. Check this book out because it's soon to be a limited series on Hulu starring Reese Witherspoon and Kerry Washington. So you want to read it before you actually watch it on TV. So welcome to First Chapter Fridays. We'll hope you will join us over the next 2 months, and we're ready to get started. So our first book will be The Unteachables by Gordon Korman. And we're going to get started with a bit of Chapter 1. Chapter 1's a little lengthy, so we're just going to read a part to hook you. It's no fun riding to school with Stepmonster, not with Chauncey screaming his lungs out in the back seat. Don't get me wrong, I'd cry too if I just figured out that Stepmonster is my mother. But at 7 months old, I don't think he's processed that yet. He just cries. He cries when he's hungry, he cries when he's full, he cries when he's tired. He cries when he wakes up after a long nap. Basically, any day that ends in a Y, Chauncey cries. There also seems to be a connection between his volume control and the gas pedal of the SUV. The louder he howls, the faster Stepmonster drives. Who's a happy baby, she coos over her shoulder into the back seat, where the rear-facing car seat is anchored. Who's a happy big boy? Not Chauncey, that's for sure, I'll tell her. Hey, school zone, you better slow down. She speeds up. Motion is soothing to a baby. Maybe so, but as we slalom up the driveway, swerving around parked parents dropping off their kids, and screech to a halt by the entrance, it turns out to be one motion too many. Chauncey throws up his breakfast. Suddenly, there's cereal on the ceiling and dripping down the windows. That's another thing about Chauncey. His stomach is a food expander. It goes in a teaspoon and comes out 5 gallons. Get out of the car, Stepmonster orders frantically. You have to come in with me, I protest. They won't let me register without an adult. She looks frazzled, and I guess I don't blame her. That much baby puke must be hard to face. I'll run home, change him, and wipe down the car. Wait for me. 10 minutes, 15 at the most. What can I do? I haul my backpack out of the SUV, and she zooms off around the circular drive. I don't even have a chance to make my usual Parmesan cheese joke. That's what it smells like when Chauncey barfs. When I first came from California to stay with Dad and Stepmonster, I thought they ate a lot of Italian food. That was a disappointment, one of many. So there I am in front of Greenwich Middle School, watching swarms of kids arriving for the first day of classes. A few of them glance in my direction, but not many. New girl? Who cares? Actually, the new girl doesn't much care either. I'm a short timer. I'm only in Greenwich for a couple of months while Mom is off in Utah shooting a movie. She's not a star or anything like that, but this could be her big break. After years of paying the bills with bit parts in sitcoms and TV commercials, she's finally landed in independent film. Well, no way. I could go with her for 8 weeks. Not that I was invited.
Eventually, a bell rings and the crowd melts into the school. No Stepmonster. I'm officially late, which isn't the best way to start my career in Greenwich. But short-timers don't stress over things like that. Long before it could come back to haunt me on a report card, I'll be ancient history. I check on my phone. It's been 20 minutes since. 10 minutes 15 at the most. That's SST, Stepmonster, standard time. I try calling, but she doesn't pick up. Maybe that means she's on her way and will be here any second. But a lot of seconds tick by. No barf-encrusted SUV. With a sigh, I sit myself down on the bench at student drop-off and prop my backpack up on the armrest beside me. Stepmonster, her real name is Louise, isn't all that monstrous when you think about it. She's way less out of touch than Dad, which might be because she's closer to my age than his. She isn't exactly thrilled with the idea of having an 8th grader dropped in her lap right when she's getting the hang of being a new mom. She's trying to be nice to me. She just isn't succeeding. Like when she strands me in front of a strange school when she's supposed to be here to get me registered. The roar of an engine jolts me back to myself. For a second, I think it must be her. But no, a rusty old pickup truck comes sailing up the roadway, going much faster than even Stepmonster would dare. As it reaches the bend in the circular drive, the front tire climbs the curb, and the pickup is coming right at me. Acting on instinct alone, I hurl myself over the back of the bench and out of the way.
The truck misses the bench by about a centimeter. The side mirror knocks my book bag off the armrest, sending it airborne. The contents, binders, papers, pencil case, gym shorts, sneakers, lunch, are scattered to the four winds, raining down on the pavement. The pickup screeches to a halt. The driver jumps out and starts rushing after my fluttering stuff. As he runs, papers fly out of his shirt pocket, and he's chasing his own things, not just mine. I join the hunt, and that's when I get my first look at the guy. He's a kid, a middle school kid. "Why are you driving?" I gasp, still in shock from the near miss. "I have a license," he replies, like it's the most normal thing in the world. "No way," I shoot back. "You're no older than I am." "I'm 14. He digs around in his front pocket and pulls out a laminated card. It's got a picture of his stupid face over the name Parker Elias. At the top of it, it says, "Provisional license." "Provisional?" I ask. "I'm allowed to drive for the family business," he explains. "Which is what? A funeral parlor? You almost killed me." "Our farm," he replies. "I take produce to the market. Plus, I take my Grams to the senior center. She's super old and doesn't drive anymore." I've never met a farmer before. There aren't a lot of them in LA. I knew Greenwich was kind of the boonies, but I never expected to be going to school with old MacDonald. He hands me my book bag with my stuff crammed in every which way. There's a gaping hole where the mirror blasted through the vinyl. I'm running late," he stammers. "Sorry about the backpack." He jumps into the pickup, wheels it into a parking space, and races into the building, studiously avoiding my glare. Still no sign of Stepmonster on the horizon. I call again. Straight to voicemail. I decide to tackle the school on my own. Maybe I can get a head start filling out forms or something. The office is a madhouse. It's packed with kids who lost their schedules, don't understand their schedules, or are trying to get their schedules changed. When I tell the harassed secretary I'm waiting for my parent and or guardian so I can register, she just points to a chair and ignores me. Even though I have nothing against Greenwich Middle School, I decide to hate it. Who can blame me? It's mostly Chauncey's fault, but let's not forget Parker McFarmer and his provisional license.
Thank you so much for joining us for our kickoff episode of OSD Go Read First Chapter Fridays. We hope that you'll enjoy Gordon Corman's latest book, and you will be able to find this book in any of your libraries, in your elementary schools, your middle school, or at the Oceanside Library. So thank you. Bye.
Have a great day.